Hello, it's Claire and I'm here to do my Flosstube update for August and September 2016. So it's been a couple of months since I've last updated you, and part of the reason I didn't do an update at the end of August is because I didn't really have much to show you. I think like a lot of people, I got completely absorbed in watching the Olympics, and it was quite hot in the UK, but also I found myself back in having to wear my cast. I have arthritis in one of my hands. Well, I have arthritis in both my hands, but it's especially bad in my right hand, and when that flares up I have to put a cast on to kind of support my hand. So August wasn't a big stitchy month for me, but that's fine. You know, I still got some progress made. I did lots of little bits and pieces here and there, so I've got some things to show you in this video. So as you can see, I'm going to start with my Country Cottage Needleworks Christmas Village, Santa's Village, and again this is probably another reason why I didn't get a lot of stitching done, particularly during August, because this is the one I picked up. I kind of got all enthused and thought, actually I've only got 3 more cottages to finish on here, and then just a bit of repair work to do where some stitches have snagged, or the buttons to put on. I thought I could kind of get this finished if I really pushed myself. That's never a good thing for me to do, because any kind of pressure like that and I completely wimp out. But also, I don't know why, but this one really seemed to give me a lot of problems this month. So as you can see, most of it's done. This is the Gingerbread Emporium. But when I say most of it's done, it's mainly because that roof got stitched 4 times, because I could not get it right. I don't know what was going on with me, but I seemed to lose my ability to read a pattern and to follow it correctly. So anything that could have gone wrong with that roof went wrong. So I forgot to stitch it on a slope, so I just stitched it straight up to start with. Then I made it too short, so I had to extend it. And then after I'd finished stitching it all, I then started work on this bit, and I couldn't get the hearts to line up with the peak up here, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I realised I'd missed a stitch somewhere down here and had counted wrong, so the whole roof was one too far over. So then I stitched it again, and when I stitched it again I forgot to leave space to put this red trim in here, so I had to unstitch it and stitch it again. So when I say that roof has been done 4 times, that roof has been stitched 4 times. And I think once I'd kind of got to that point, I'd used up all my energy on this pattern, and I thought, actually for my sanity I'm going to have to put it aside and not work on it anymore. So as you can see, although most of it's done, there's still like the trunk missing, and I've got to finish the kind of trim at the bottom and at the top. I don't know when I'm going to finish this. I mean, it's the end of, what is it? It's the 27th of September today, so if I wanted to I could probably still finish it this year, but I don't know. I think it's been a wipe, if you're Emily's husband. That did make me laugh. It's been a whip for 3 years, possibly. I don't know, maybe more, maybe 4 years. I can't remember what year these came out, and I don't think I've got it in front of me to look it up. But I seem to have been stitching on it on and off for a very long time. But anyway, so I put this one aside and didn't finish that one out this month. So then I thought I'd pick up my Lizzie Kate pattern, because these, you know, they're quite simple, straightforward ones to do, and I have completed 2 squares, I think, so I thought I'd move on to the next one, which is this one, Snow Fun. Well, it wasn't fun because yet again I found myself having to do a lot of reverse stitching on this one. So I stitched the other bit of the scarf in here, that's been unpicked. I've unpicked the mitten, I've unpicked this hand, and I got to the point where I realised this tree is too far over that way and needs to go 2 squares that way, because it is. I mean, if it looked okay I'd probably leave it, but I think it looks a bit odd where it is, and the tree trunk's going to be floating if I don't sort it out. So yeah, that's got to come out. So again, I found myself in a position where something that should have been quite straightforward, again I struggled to read the pattern. So I have a half finished Snow Fun, which actually was no fun to do, but that seemed to be the story. So I think when I got to that point, that's when I put my stitching down and didn't do any stitching for a while. So having not been able to stitch because of my hand, I then didn't stitch for a little bit. So I kind of needed something to get my stitchy bug back and to get back into the swing of things. And I thought, well, looking at all of the things that I've got on the go at the moment, I thought, I know which one I'll pull out. I'll pull out my Bothy Threads Kings and Queens, because I do really love this pattern and it's quite fun. And again, it's fairly straightforward, so I was hoping something small and straightforward, not variegated threads, you know, so I'm not so precious with them. It might kind of help me, you know, feel like I can actually cross stitch again, because I was beginning to doubt my talents here. So last time you saw this, I'd worked on it for Stitch Mania, so in terms of the cross stitching, I'd completed everything kind of these 3 rows at the top here, and I'd started doing some work on the back stitch for them, but I haven't completed that. I wasn't particularly feeling in the groove for doing some back stitch. I wanted to just do some straightforward, simple cross stitch. So what I actually did was I looked at this row down here, and as you can see, I have completed the cross stitch on that row. So again, there's no back stitch done on this yet, so it's not quite, you know, looking as good as it will do. But this really helped me get my cross stitch kind of groove back on, and I was quite happy with the progress on this. And I wasn't going to do the whole row, I just thought I would kind of do to the middle of the pattern, so down to Charles here. But actually, because I was kind of enjoying it and I didn't seem to be making any errors. Oh, have I missed a stitch there? Oh, I need to check that out. Maybe I have just missed a stitch there, or it might be that it's a metallic that needs to be filled in. I kind of just kept going and finished the row. So I was quite pleased with that. So out of this pattern now, I now just have 2 rows left to actually cross stitch, but there's a fair bit of back stitching on this one to fill in. And if you know Bothy Threads, I think a lot of their patterns have a lot of cross stitch in. Cross stitch? Of course they've got cross stitch in. They're cross stitch patterns, I mean back stitch. And I haven't been the kind of person to backstitch as they go along. I am trying to improve on that, but I didn't really want to do the backstitch on this one, because you'll see what I'm doing on another pattern later on. So yeah, so that's my Kings and Queens. I then looked at, you know, thinking I'd stay in the simplistic mode, I pulled out my deck chairs pattern. Again, it's another Bothy Threads. I have lots of these in my collection. And so last time you saw this, I hadn't completed, but I'd done kind of almost, I suppose, 3/4 of it. So this time what I looked at doing was filling in all of the kind of the foreground here. So all of these flowers, the deck chairs here have been done. So that's all done. And so this space that you can see here, this all has to be filled in with this light yellow here. So this is at the stage where there's hopefully not too much thinking to do, because it's to fill in this yellow here, and this that you can see here is just that this blue here just needs to be filled in across here. And then there's just some bits and pieces to do, because there's a cloud up in this corner that I need to fill the white in. I don't know if you can see, but the cloud is only stitched halfway up. And then there's, unusually for a Bothy kit, this one has very little back stitching in it. So the back stitching in here, there's just some kind of definition here for the masts on the boats, and then the legs of the deck chairs, and then the masts on these boats here. Oh, and I've got some birds to add in as well that I haven't done. So this one's kind of come on fairly well, and my goal is to get this one finished by the end of the year. But no pressure, because I don't deal with pressure very well of that sort. I'm fine in normal life, but when it comes to cross stitch, as soon as I kind of start thinking, oh, I'll just get that down, I'll just knock it out, it'll be really easy, it kind of all seems to fall apart. So lots of little threads hanging around, which I need to sort out. So yeah, so I was quite pleased with the progress I made on this one at least. Sorry, move it up a bit so you can see, because there's a lot of this was a lot of confetti stitching down here to get all the flowers done. But yeah, this one makes me happy because the colours in it are very happy. So yeah. So the next one I then looked at is one that you won't have seen for a while. I started this one as Stitch Mania, but in 2015 I didn't for Stitch Mania this year, because what was I doing this year? I can't remember what I was. I think because I just have so much stuff on the go, I decided to just work on Kings and Queens for the Stitch Mania this year. Oh, I was changing jobs, that's why. So this one I pulled back out because I hadn't looked at it for a long time. This is Up the Garden Path. And I didn't make a huge lot of progress here. I think I've just completed, I filled in these 3, and then I think I filled in this along here, and I was working on these 2 bits here. So this is the outer edge of the pattern here. So yeah, not a huge amount done on it, but you know, every little bit counts, I suppose. There's no kind of hurry for this one to be done. This is just one sitting in my pile of whips, and you know, I'm on this year. I see that there's a new thing for 2017, which is going to be around. Is it kind of stitch from your whips or something? Sorry, I've looked at it, but I've not really listened to it. But I haven't watched the video yet to see what it's about. But I know quite a few people are signing up to it. That's kind of what I've done this year, so I don't know if I will be particularly motivated to do the same again next year. I probably could, because I've got enough whips that I could work on, but having had a year where I've really not had any none of these are new starts, all of these were already in my stash. The new starts I've had, there will be 3 new starts that I'd have done this year that are all smalls. And all 3 of them are for presents. So that was kind of my, I don't know, I guess try and get through some of my whips, get that pile down. And not because I mind having lots of whips. The reason that I was struggling so much was because storage, in that trying to keep all of the things together, all the threads and everything, because I'm forever losing threads. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that how many times I come on here and say, oh, well, I wanted to do this, but I couldn't find that thread. And I know I've got it somewhere in my stash, but where it is, I don't know. I was getting really frustrated by that. And I think you know, I am kind of now got some nice storage bags to keep stuff in, but it was still, I think because I had so much, I couldn't keep it neatly. And then because I couldn't keep it neatly or control it, it was driving me a little bit crazy. And it's not, well, am I a neat freak? No, I wouldn't say it. My mum would laugh if she heard me describe myself as a neat freak. It's more just what I just need it to be easy. This is my hobby, and yeah, I don't have a craft room, so everything kind of has to be put away at the end of the day, or you know, I need it to be fairly manageable. But I have loads of stuff I want to start, and in the last few months I've struggled a little bit because I have been itching to do some of the patterns that I've got, but having made it almost to the end of September, I'm just going to keep going to see if I can make it to the end of the year. And then next year, that's it, I'm starting everything. No pattern left behind, as Abby would say. So yeah, so that's Up the Garden Path. And then the final one that I've pulled out, again, you won't have seen this one for a couple of months. This is my Cut Through Haberdashers, which is another Bothy Threads kit. And I'd finished all of the cross stitching on here. The thing that I hadn't done was the back stitching. So the reason I wasn't so keen to do the back stitching on the Kings and Queens is I've had this one, it's kind of out, and every so often what I'm doing is I'm just picking up this one and putting a bit of the back stitching in. And once I get going, I'm fine with it. I don't particularly mind, but it does take a little bit of kind of motivation on my part to actually do that, because I would rather be cross-stitching than back stitching. So I think I finished kind of 2 pages of this one. So kind of this, what side is this? This left-hand side is done, but there's a lot of detail in this. So I've just moved on up to the roof here, and I'm just working in this corner here. So my next goal was to get these bricks done across here. And then what I might do is come down and work across the bottom and then work up and do the middle bit last. So again, this one I had wanted to get done at the end of last year. As you can see, I didn't quite achieve that. I might get it done this year, but I've seen some progress on it, so I'm quite happy with that. So that's, oh no, it's not quite all of the cross stitch I've worked on, and I've put Elizabeth here as a reminder for me. I pulled out my Mirabilia, so Elizabeth is the first Mirabilia that I've done, and I started her in January 2015. Now be prepared to be amazed at the progress I've made on her, because really, woohoo! Very, very little done on her. So I don't know why, because actually when I stitch on her, I really like it. But it doesn't seem to be one that I ever gravitate to pick up and work on. I don't know, I can't explain it. So I did pick this one up at the weekend. I had this purple done, but I've just added in this black here, this bit of grey here, and then I've just worked on this purple here. And when I got there I decided actually the next bit I need to do is to fill in this bit here. So I've made a little bit of progress on her, but not a great deal. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know why I don't pick her up more often, because she is beautiful and I would really like to have her done, but you know, one day. And this is stitched on a Pole Stitches fabric. I know it's an opalescent. I can't remember what it's called. If anyone's interested, I'll be able to look it up for you. I might have the book. Have I got my book next to me? I do have a book which I write things down in, but who knows where that's gone. I'll probably find it at some point. Yeah, if you want me to tell you, let me know. I've been very bad at telling you what I've stitched things on, but I think all of them up until now was the fabric it came from. Oh, I've just seen the book. Hang on. Let's have a look at what this is stitched on. Bear with me. You're probably not interested, are you? Mirabilia design. So this is on Pole Stitches. It's a 32 count linen and it's called Tudor Rose. That was worth waiting for, wasn't it? The other ones, the Santa's Village, started in 2012, so 4 years. I haven't written down the fabric, but I have a feeling it's a 32 count linen of some sort, just kind of a beigey neutral, yeah. And anything else that I've done, what was the other, the Snow Fun, the Lizzie Kate one, that one is done on a Crafty Kitten fabric. And yeah, it's called Icicle and it's a 28 count cashel linen. So I'll just show you that again so you can remember. It's very pretty, this fabric. That's this one. You can see the progress I've made altogether on that one. Oh, I think I said I'd finished 2, but I've completed 3 in actual fact. So I'm kind of halfway on that one. If I'd finished that I'd be more than halfway, but pff. Anyway, so that's I'm going to pause the video now because then I'm going to come back with something different. Different. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? But because I couldn't stitch for a while, I started doing other things. And one of the other things I did was I had a look through all of the things that I'd completed, had a big sort out, and what I've decided to do is some of those patterns is to do the pass it forward that other people have been doing. So I know Shari did something similar. So if you're interested in having a look, I've pulled out the things that I've got completed. So I've taken a few things off the wall and then, yeah, hang around. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, I've prepared a few things around me and I've pulled out lots of bits and pieces for the second part of my update. And this is really a pass it forward pass it forward of all of the things that I've stitched, and I don't know, I've kind of looked at it and thought they're just sitting in a box, so why not give them to somebody else who might get some pleasure for them. I love cross stitching, let's share that pleasure around a little bit. So rules to enter, you can enter for as many of the I've put the patterns into small groups, so you can enter for as many as you want. You can enter for all of them. You can enter for none of them if nothing takes your fancy. Don't mention giveaway, so I'm not going to put giveaway in in the title, please don't put it in the comments. If I see it in the comments, then I'm going to delete your comment, because I want people really who watch my updates and who've made it to this point of my rambling to be able to benefit from this. You must be over 18. If you're not, then I must have permission to contact your parents. I will post anywhere in the world with these, and all the other usual stuff that goes on. It's the 27th of September now, so my birthday's next month, so this is part of my birthday celebration. So that is on October the 17th. So I would like to say I'd do the draw on that date, but actually I probably won't, because I'm hopefully going to be a bit busy. Just thinking, how far behind on Flosstube am I? I think the furthest I was behind on Flosstube was about 3 to 4 weeks. So what I might do is I might do the drawing of this. Actually, that's the point. At the end of October, I'm going to my first stitchy retreat, so I'm going to Milton Keynes. So I might do the draw either just before I go, while I'm there, or when I get back. That'd be exciting. So actually, you've got ages for this, because that will take us up to the 28th of October. And oh, that's just reminding me, I don't think I've paid my final instalment, so I know what I will be doing after I finish this video. Oops. Yes, must remember to do that. So enough blither blathering, let's get on and show you what you've got. So if you want to enter for the first bundle, what you're going to need to put in the comments is you are going to have to put the number, okay, is that going to focus? 3608. So that's all you're going to put. You're going to put 3608 somewhere in your comments. And what you can have a chance of receiving then is the Christmas bells pattern, Joey. Oh, I don't know, I'm not going to even attempt French, I'm clearly not there. Noel. So this is a pattern that I've stitched here, and this was just on a leftover piece of sparkly Ada that I used. So that's the first one in this collection. There is also Lizzie Kate's Naughty or Nice. Santa wants to know. Have I got a stitched version? Yeah. That is this one here, and that's done in the recommended colours. I've got Ho Ho Ho, which is a 2007 special edition Lizzie Kate, which I have here. You see, I'm not very good at finishing things. I've stitched them but not done anything with them. And finally, I have Lizzie Kate, the ABC of Aging Artfully kit, which is... This is a bit bigger, this one. This is on my wall, which is here. Am I going to be able to get it all in? Yeah, so that one is sitting in my sitting room. So to be in a chance for winning those ones, once again, what you need to put in the comments is just 3608. Nothing else. Not giveaway, please I want to win, blah, blah, blah. Just that number. Okay. If you want to win the next one, what you have to put in the comments, 153. So 153 will be if you want to be in a chance of receiving the Stitching Shed cupcake sampler. Did this one quite a while ago, and I've made it into a cushion cover. Well, there's no cushion in at the moment. So there's that one. It was originally a kit, but I don't have all the bits and pieces anymore. I literally just have the pattern and the front sheet. The second one in this one, have I got a front? Try not to show you the pattern, is by the Historical Sampler Company, and this is Cupcake. And this one is here. And the final one in this, you'll see a theme here because it's cakes. Do I have the front sheet? Yes, here you go. Is my Melin Jolie Patisseries, which I have framed and is also on the wall in my living room, and is this one. Can't quite get it all in. There you go. So remember, for that one, you're just going to put, let's get it the right way round, 153. no giveaway, not I want to win, just 153. I have to keep these all in order so I don't get confused when I try and put it all together. So for the next bundle, kind of a tree theme here, is this Paco pattern and of a lemon tree. Now, full disclosure with this one, I'm just going to show you a little bit of it. It's a colour pattern, and down this side there was a key that you could cut out and stick to your bobbins, which I did but no longer have. But it does have a colour key, kind of, you can just see the edge of it down there, so you should be able to work out what the colours are, because I can't see. Let me just check the instructions, move it off. It doesn't give you the colours, so you might, I mean, I know a lot of people are happy with swapping out colours, but if you're not comfortable with doing that, this isn't the pattern for you to win. I've also got, oh, I haven't shown it to you, so that's this one here. It's really very pretty, and I've got my initials on here, and I stitched it in 2006, so I've had this one for quite a long time. I used to have it hanging in the kitchen, so it was framed, but I'm pretty sure I took this out of the frame and used it for my master's certificate when I graduated. So yeah, so this one got kicked out because it was just the right size frame that I was looking for. And it wasn't properly mounted, it was literally just stuck in the frame. So I've also, as part of this one, I have this DMC kit, which is topiaries. It's not a kit, it was a kit, but you would just be getting this, and then I've got the pattern under here. Now, just to remind myself about this pattern, I did mark it, but all I did in terms of marking is there is a blue crayon mark, and I'm going to show you as little as I can without showing the pattern. There is a blue crayon mark there, which just marks the centre of the pattern. It's an older pattern, so there's a little bit of wear to this one, but it's all, I mean, again, I would be able to read it, I wouldn't have a problem with it, so I don't expect you would either. And I can show you my finish, and I'm just going to dust it a little bit because this has been hanging in the corner. This is my finish of this one, my topiary collection. And I know when I did this I made an error on one of them and I missed out the row, but it's been so many years now that I can't spot it and I couldn't tell you where it was, and I still really like this. So there's that one. So if you want to be in for a chance of getting those two patterns, you're going to quote, can you see that? 704. So just 704, no giveaway, not I want to win, thank you for giving me the chance to win, blah de blah blah, just that DMC number. Almost there. My next ones are here. So this is a pattern I bought in France. I think you can still get it online in some places, but this is, it's a field of lavender with a church in the background. It does have a French name down there, but seeing as I've butchered everything else, I'm not going to give it an attempt. Again, in the spirit of full disclosure, this pattern is worn in the same way that this is here. So along the crease folds on this pattern, there has been some fading. Now, I was looking at this to see if I would still be able to stitch it if this came to me second hand, and I think that I would be fine with it, because there is a tiny hole in it as well. The other thing that's happened, and I don't quite know what happened, and I'm just going to show you this very briefly just so you can get a full idea of what you might be entering for, is there's a little bit of staining on it, and you can see there that's the worst bit of damage on the pattern there, but I would, as I said, looking at it closely, I would be able to work out what should be filled in those areas. So, you know, I won't be insulted if you don't want it because you don't like shabby patterns or anything. I think it's just basically because it's been hanging around for years and years and years, because I think it's probably about 10 years old. And if I can find my finish, it's behind me, it's behind you. That's that one here, and I happen to think that this is really beautiful. The other thing I noticed about this when I was looking at it the other day, obviously I've had this for quite a long time, and this is one of the early ones I did, but I have a feeling that not all of these stitches down here are going in the same direction. But you know what? when this is hanging on the wall, unless you look really, really closely, you can't see that. So, and I still think it's beautiful. It really does remind me of some of the areas where I went on holiday. So I actually bought this in a small town in the south of France. So it has good memories for me as well, this one. So that's the first one that hangs in my bedroom. The second one is Wisteria, which is a DMC pattern. I don't know if I looked at what condition the pattern was in inside, so let me have a quick look. Yeah. It looks fine. So this one's fine. So just trying to put everything together so I don't lose it. Let's turn it over so you can't see the pattern. I haven't given you a DMC number for this one, have I? So the number for this one, should you want to have this one, is 797. Wisteria I've also had framed and hangs on my bedroom wall, and this is where I learned that you really need to make sure you tie off your loose ends around the back. Again, I love it. If you couldn't tell, you will know now that my bedroom is decorated in purple. I'll just remove the dust. Yeah, so I can see here there's a kind of a thread behind it, but again, when it's hanging on the wall from a distance, I can't tell that, because you know, who goes up and stands nose to nose with your finishes? And I really love that. So I did it in the same, I got the framer who does this for me to do it in the same finish as the lavender one. So that one's 797. And then the last one, this is a bit of a mix and match because I didn't really know how to categorise these two. So this is the Dolly Mamas, which is my Crazy Quilter Lady. That was a finish, I think, in my last video. And that's my colour for her. And the other one, I don't have a picture of this one, I just have the pattern. I don't know what I did with the front cover of it. Again, full disclosure, the pattern in this one is unmarked. This one, as you can see, it has been well loved. So again, along the crease marks, you can see that the pattern has faded a little bit. But again, I would be able to read it. So hopefully that won't cause anyone any problems. And actually with any of these, if you do get stuck, you can just ask me, because I've got this stitch finished, so I can always look back and check kind of what was there. But this one is my historical sampler, which I still haven't finished this one. As in, it's on its way to an FFO, but this is my all hanging stitch in the year. So as you can see, I changed what was on here. So instead of, I think it's something about you would put your family name and year on it, but instead I changed it to stitched in the year, and you can see it's got all the seasons in it. And then down the bottom, instead of the family name, I just put the year and my initials. So yeah, so that's the last bundle. And if it's those two that you are interested in, the DMC number you need to put below is 304. Okay, so hopefully I've emphasised enough that all I want to see in the comments, I mean, you can write anything else, you know, within reason. I'm not inviting, you know, mean remarks, but you can write anything you want to. Say, I'm always happy to hear lovely things about my work or about me or about whatever you want to talk about. I'm British, so feel free to make comments about the weather or cups of tea. But if you want to play in this Pass It Forward game that I'm doing, all I want to see in relation to that is the DMC number. I'm afraid if you put anything about giveaway, pass it forward, I want to win, thank you for giving me the chance to win, etc, etc, I will then just delete that comment. So that's everything. So that's a good clear out for me. I think I said the rules at the beginning. Nothing else has occurred to me in that time, so hopefully that covers everything. Obviously, if you've got any questions, you can just discreetly phrase them and post them in the comments below. But yeah, hopefully all of these will be winging their way to new homes. And don't worry, because I will not be left with lots of empty space. I have been purchasing and adding to my nice little collection, which includes this year's Just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornament magazine. I also bought this, which is the first in a series by Barbara Anna Designs. I absolutely loved it. I saw it in one of the cross stitch magazines in the UK, and it had all 5 of them. So I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know how well it will show up, but there are 5 in the series, and they're actually all stitched on different fabrics. So I don't quite know if they've just layered them or if they have actually kind of stitched them together. But I loved it as soon as I saw it, so I knew I'd have to buy it. I purchased some purchasing on Facebook, so I've got my first Quaker design. So this is Rose Quaker, which I think is beautiful. I also bought the Butterfly Quaker, so gorgeous. Really like the colours in these. And then a blue ribbon design. I've never stitched one of these, but this is an autumn one, so it's all of the colours that I perfectly love. I'm about to start a new quilt next month, and I've chosen all these beautiful autumn colours. I'll show you, but I haven't actually got them with me at the moment. They're still in. I'm keeping it at my local quilt shop. But I love all the colours. I love little boxes, and I love houses. So it kind of ticks a lot of boxes, that one. This was an eBay purchase. Isn't that pretty? Thought that would be good for some variegated threads. Little gorgeous design. What's this one called? Foxgloves. I like the blue colours in that. I have another Jardin Privé. I love her patterns. I think somebody stitched this. Who stitched this? Can't remember. Somebody stitched it, but I loved it. And then I found this on eBay, so I thought this would go well with those other 2 that I've shown you today. And this is a bunch of lilac flowers. So that one might make a nice addition to my bedroom. And then I saw this, I think this was Trisha who showed this, which is a Plum Street Samplers Paradise Lost. And I absolutely loved this as soon as she showed it. I think the colours more than anything is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, so I've kept myself busy. I'm happy out there shopping, maybe doing a little bit more shopping than I'm doing stitching, but maybe I'll correct that this month, who knows. Yeah. I probably won't do another update before I go on the stitching retreat. I know that there are a couple of other floss tubers going, so I know Bonnie's going, and Joe's Stitching Joanne's going, so it's Purple Frog Stitches and Stitching Joanne. God, I just said your name and then had a complete mind blank on it. Yeah, sorry, that says more about me. Are going, so yeah, so there might be some filming going on. But at the very least I might be able to show you a little bit of the setup and maybe some of the things that we stitch on there. I haven't actually even really thought about what I'm taking with me. It would probably be quite a last minute thing. If Joe or Bonnie are watching, you can tell me if there's anything in particular you want me to bring that you'd like to see. If anyone else is going, it doesn't just have to be those 2, and there's something of mine you'd like to see, I'll quite happily bring it all along, because I shall be driving, so everything will be going in my boot. I have a new setup at the moment, so because of my bad hand I moved my Lowry frame around, and actually at the moment you've got a slightly different angle, because what I've done is I have fixed my camera, which is an iPhone, to my, I think it's called an octopus stand, so it's got these kind of really bendy legs on it, and I've wrapped it around my Lowry stand, so I'm able to get a bit more of a downward facing view with this, and I think it's worked quite well. I just have to check that the sound is fine, but I'm trying to stick close to it so you can hear what I'm saying. So yes, you might be able to hear me, but I still say a lot. I did have a laugh reading one of the recent Facebook posts about what people like and dislike about Flosstube videos, and comments like, couldn't people be more organised, and stop saying and I just thought, yeah, I probably could, but I'm not gonna, because you know, I work full time, I have a busy life, I do this for fun. I'm not a professional, I've never claimed to be a professional at cross stitching. I'm a professional in my real life, but I'm not a professional cross stitcher, and I'm not a professional floss tuber, so really what you see is what you get. And I'm quite happy with that, and I'm really happy with what everybody else puts out and produces, so basically I'm a very happy person. And I think on that note I should finish it, because otherwise I'm just going to keep rambling. So thank you once again for watching, and I shall catch up with you soon. Bye.